this is Sami Sampi. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome, and I invite you to subscribe. And if you're not new here, thank you so much for coming back. So today we're going to get right into it. We're going to talk about Ready to Love season 6 episode 6. We're going to get right into it because there's a lot to unpack. It starts with the gentleman's going into the gentleman's lounge with Tommy, and he's letting them know that this time around they're going to do something different. He wants them to think about who their second choice is, and he wants them to basically take their second choice with their backup plan on a date to make sure that first choice is the first choice and that there's no opportunity for them to change their mind. The gentlemen are listening to it, and we can hear Tori in the background talking about he really doesn't have a second choice, so he's not sure what to do. And I'm like, yeah, Tori, that is a problem because you put all your eggs in one basket, which is commendable, but the goal of the show is for you all to date a lot of people. Next scene, we have Mr. Eric, who is taking Carmen on a date. Carmen doesn't know that she is Mr. Eric's second choice backup plan because his first choice is the Kia, who he mentioned he really has a strong connection with. Eric tells us that he's known Carmen for a long time. They always been flirting with each other. They always had an attraction, but they never got to do anything about it, and that maybe this is the opportunity now. So we see beautiful Carmen walking into the date, and Eric has some flowers. So yeah, he's taking this seriously. Carmen is his close second choice to the Kia. They get to talk, even though they know each other. They're sharing more information about each other that they may not have known. A lot of flirting is going on. Carmen is like very flirty. She just really touchy. And then ask Eric about the situation with the Kia and what happened during the pool party. And he's basically letting him know that she wants him to make place for her because she is the woman he needs. And Eric is telling her that he does have a connection with the Kia. All ears. And Carmen is taking charge. I felt during that date that we really get to see a side of Carmen that she's been telling us about, but that I don't think we've seen before. Well, we've seen it during the pool party, but she's being very straightforward. She's telling him that she's the one and that she needs to put that Kia aside. I felt that she was very competitive. When she talks about the Kia in a confessional, that the Kia is desperate, and I beg to differ. I felt that Carmen seemed a little bit desperate. I felt that Dakia didn't come at all desperate. With Eric, the flow seemed to be really nice. But Carmen is talking about she is commanding attention whenever she comes to a room. So Dakia didn't have a choice but to bow down. And the part of me is like, I don't think you were commanding attention. I think you were forcing attention. And there's a difference between the two. I'm not really into the Carmen type situation. I feel like Dakia is not your enemy. I feel like she's so competitive that it leads Carmen to say things about Dakia that are not accurate. Part of me is thinking, Carmen, do you just want to be chose, or do you really have genuine interest in Eric? Because I don't know. I feel like she's so much into the whole physical vibe and everything. I'm not 100% sure if she's being genuine. Is she really just trying to be picked, or is she trying to really build solid connection? Part of me is like, well, you've known Eric for a while, so why not play in those intentions in the past? Why do you have to wait to be in the show to be so, I almost want to say, forceful? And Eric seems to like it. He seems to like her to really be a little forceful. He probably doesn't see it that way, but he likes the attention. He really likes it. Next scene, we have Demetrius and Tina. So Demetrius, that was very interesting that he chose Tina has a second plan, because I'm like, did you even ever talk to her before? Because whenever Tina first came, we saw her talking to Pio, we saw her talking to Donovan, but we didn't really see her talk to Demetrius. So part of me was surprised that he chose her as a second plan. But he did say that he chose her because he was physically attracted to her. And I'm like, okay, at least he's being genuine. That is really just a physical attraction because he's never talked to her. And then Tina is telling us that, yeah, she's very surprised. She's telling Demetrius that she's very surprised that he chose her because they never got to talk. And the first time that she actually got to see him, he was having a situationship with Sabrina. They did the truth or dare game, so he was kissing Sabrina, and they were making their intention very, he was making his intention very clear, so she doesn't really understand why he asked her to go on a date. To the ladies' defense though, they may not know that the guy have to take their second choice on a date, so that's probably why she's questioning, and I understand that. And Demetrius is telling her that, yeah, it's true that they never got to talk with each other, but when he saw her, he was really attracted to her and he definitely wanted to talk to her. So she's telling him that a lot of the ladies are really interested in him, so she's not really sure how to approach him. Is he a player? Like, what type of man is he? And a part of me is like, that's very interesting. Why do you think that he is a player? Because all the ladies are attracted to him. We haven't really seen what's going on in the background, but from the beginning, all the ladies were physically attracted to Demetrius. I don't feel like he needed to do anything. And from what we observe, he hasn't really been talking to anybody. To Tina's defense, she's probably not aware of that. But I thought it was interesting that she was so strong about the are you a player and everything. And Demetrius is like, oh, wow, yeah, like the way you're going about it, I'm not sure. I believe that Tina came in very strong, and that even though there's certain things that she was thinking about, it didn't need to be said. Demetrius is so attracted to her that he's willing to put that aside and he's willing to get to know her more. So they get to talk a little bit more. She's telling Demetrius about her, he's telling about himself. Demetrius is letting Tina know that he's very serious about finding his other half. The goal for him is to get married. He has done the job, he went to therapy, and he's still working on himself, and he knows exactly what he wants. They get to talk about what they both want, and they see some similarity in there. And they agree that they want to go on another date with each other and they want to keep in contact. And ask Demetrius if he is locked in on Sabrina or if he's open to get to talk more with other people. And Demetrius is telling him no, he's open to talk more to her. So yeah, Sabrina, you get some competition. Demetrius, even though he said that you're the one, still is keeping his options open, and I hope you will do the same. We have Mr. Donovan. Mr. Donovan is going on several dates. He's going on a date with Carmen, he's going on a date with the Kia, and he's going on a date with Sabrina. So we see him getting to know each lady. I thought that was good for him. He just came. He came in later during the game, so he may not have had the opportunity to make strong connection. So the whole going on a date with your backup line might not be good for him because he didn't build that much of a connection. So we see him talking to Carmen. They're flirting as usual. Carmen is letting him know that she has a 16-year-old son and that she's not sure about having another child. Maybe if she does get married and that her husband wants more, that's something that she's considering, but at the moment she's good with not having some. Have him talking with Sabrina, and they have a lot in common. They're both from Los Angeles. They're vibing really well. I think Donovan is really feeling Sabrina. He even seems a little bit more different with Sabrina than he was with Carmen. With Carmen, it was more about the whole physical attraction, but with Sabrina, it's both. We see genuine interest in Donovan's eyes to get to know Sabrina, but at the same time, an attraction too. Were recently divorced, so they get to talk about that. And Donovan is letting us know that he has a strong connection with Sabrina. We also see him on a date with the Kia. He is physically attracted to her. The date goes well, but it doesn't seem like there's a spark there. Let's just say that the end of all three dates, Donovan seems to be a little bit more keen to Sabrina. And we have Mr. Clifton. Mr. Clifton chose to go on a date with Dakia. He is telling us that Joy is his strong first choice, but he also has an attraction to Dakia. So they go on a date and they get to talk. And Clifton is letting us know that he feels like Dakia has a 9 to 5 attitude, but he wants to know a little bit more about how she is outside of that 9 to 5 after hours. So they go on a date, they're at the restaurant and they're eating oyster, and Clifton is feeding the Kia the oyster, and they have that little moment, that little sexy time, and they're liking each other. They talk and vibing as usual. This time there's more of a physical attraction. Clifton feels like he's seeing another side of Dakia that he has never seen before. And Dakia is telling him, there's more to me than just my career. This is what I like to do. She said that she likes to do extreme sport, and he's telling her that he also likes to do the same thing. So they have things in common. And Clifton's attraction to Dakia is growing. We have Mr. P.O. that chose to take Joy on a date, and I was like, that was random. Mr. P.O., from the beginning we saw, had a strong attraction with Precious, and it seemed to be more mutual. And then when Miss Tina came, she became his number one. So he decided to take Joy out and not even thinking about Precious. And I'm like, man, that's how you're doing my girl Precious, Mr. P.O.? So he's saying that he really likes Joy and they do have a connection, but he believes that it's more of a friendly connection. But you know, why not go on a date with her? I feel like he just took her on a date because it was better for him than to take Precious, because he knew that Precious was still interested in him and he just does not want to be with Precious. He put Precious totally aside. Joy is surprised that Mr. P.O. decided to take her on a date, but she take it with a stride because they have a good friendship. So they get to talk. They mostly talk about Joy relationship with Clifton. And yeah, she's saying that she's locked in with Clifton. She's getting a little bit tired of the whole dating other people. She is set on him and she would like to be able to focus on him. And P.O. is telling her that he's understanding, and they come to an agreement that there's nothing between the two of them that's more than a friendship. It's only platonic. We have Mr. Laverne, who took Ace on a date. And I'm like, that's interesting, because I felt that Ace was his first connection and Joy the second, but he's telling us that he has a strong connection with Joy, was a strong one with Ace. I'm thinking this is probably production, because they probably wanted all of the ladies to go on a date, and since P.O. already took Joy on a date, he'd rather just take Ace on a date. So he take Ace on that date at the restaurant. He has a little gift for her, and we see Ace, she's blushing. And yeah, Laverne is being very attentionate with her, very attentive with Ace, and he's taking care of her. And his demeanor is very different that from where we see him with other people. And I always say that when Ace is with Laverne, his demeanor is really different. And I like what I see. The only question that I have for myself is Mrs. Ace really liking Laverne, or is she just happy that he chose her? You know, like, I'm not really sure that it's a mutual thing. And when I'm saying that, she's obviously blushing at Laverne. There's obviously a connection. But so far, we've mostly heard Laverne talk about how he likes Ace, and Ace also saying that she likes him. But I feel like, I'm not sure if Ace really likes Laverne like that. I don't know. Let me all know what you think. I feel like she likes him. She's blushing. They make a nice couple. I see future for that connection. But at the same time, if Ace had a pick, would she pick Laverne? Laverne is telling her that he's willing to tell everybody that she is his first choice, that she likes him, and that it's time to go. They made their connection. It's time to go. She's the one for him. And Ace is blushing. I don't remember saying much about it, but she's the one that did ask him where do they stand. So Laverne making it clear that she's the one for him. We'll see where that leads them. Next, we have Mr. Tory taking Precious on a date. A part of me was like, huh, I haven't seen those one talk to each other since the very first episode. So yeah, once again, that's a projection thing. They're just trying to make sure that everybody is going on a date. Because if all the men have to choose their first and second connection, some of these ladies, such as Precious, would not go anywhere. That's my opinion. Let me know what y'all think. So yeah, they're on that date and it's very sexual. The talk is about sex. We see Tori different. He's not as serious with Precious. He's talking about basically how he's good in bed, you know, a lot of sexual innuendos. They're not really going into deep. Precious tries, you know, she tells him that she had a connection with him at the very beginning, but they both kind of like were so overwhelmed with other people that they kind of lost touch. And Precious really trying to get a connection with him and to dig in deeper to get to know Tori a little bit more, but he's not feeling it, and you can see it. And it always goes back to the sexual innuendos. That's basically the sexual innuendos that made the dinner happen. And then Mr. Tori tries to give her a kiss because in his mind he's like, Precious is open, you know what I mean? She's open, she's a party girl, so at least let me try. So he give her a kiss, and I mean, she kissed him back, but she's kind of shocked. It was like, oh, well, yeah, I kissed her, you know, I wasn't really thinking about it. Yes, you were. You wanted to just try because you felt like it would work. You wouldn't have tried to kiss her. You wouldn't have tried to kiss Sabrina. You did it with Precious because she gave you the vibe that if you kiss her, she wasn't gonna do nothing. She was gonna let you kiss her and kiss you back. Of that party, you know, stereotype that's on her. She was shocked, and Tori felt like, yeah, Sabrina is his first match. Precious is not the one. And the moment Tori kissed Precious, it was just trying to kiss her. They didn't have a moment. He just wanted to kiss her. Why do you think that kissing Precious was going to help you make a decision on if you have a connection with her? I felt that was childish. Gentlemen are back in the gentleman's lounge with Tommy and they're letting them know. So Eric is very sweet with Carmen. I mean, seems like she's now number one and that Kia moved to number two. Clifton says that he really likes the Kia. That was a really good date. Pio says that him and Joy have a strictly platonic relationship and that is not going to be anything else. Tori says that he has no connection with Precious. Demetrius says that he really likes Tina and he would like to get to know her more. Donovan says that he really likes Sabrina and he would like to get to know her more too. So yeah, things are changing, you know, like the energy are switching. Vern is making it known that Ace is his number one and he's advising the other guys that it's time to decide who they want to be with. And the other guys are not really taking his advice well. Donovan feels like he just comes and he doesn't have to make a decision. And Demetrius doesn't want to be told what to do. So it's escalating. And a part of me is like, why did it go from 0 to 100 so fast? Is it because some parts were cut and Laverne was being a little disrespectful? A part of me was like, all he was saying was it's time to make a decision, you know? My guess is that they just don't like Laverne. There's things going on with Laverne because a lot of people don't like him, and I cannot wait to get to the reunion to get a little bit more background on what's going on with Laverne. When the men are asked about who they put on the bottom, a lot of name, Precious name came out a lot, and we also had Joy that came out a lot because Joy explained that she's set on Clifton. I agree with Joy, guys. Like, how long does she need to date? It's time to make clear connection and to move forward. So I'm not blaming Joy for saying, hey, Clifton is my one. I've been on several dates. I've been on dates with Laverne. I was very open during the process, but I'm getting a little bit tired and I just want to set things up with Clifton. He's the one. That's it. Precious is going on a date with Clifton and she's not feeling good about it because there's no connection between her and Clifton. They get to talk and he's letting her know what the guy said, that she's a party girl and that she's not ready to love. On the other side, we have Mrs. Joy going on a date with Demetrius. She's very surprised. that Demetrius is taking her on a date. I don't think at this point that she knows that is because of the deliberation she came into the bottom. And they get to talk, and Demetrius is telling her what the guy said, and she's telling him, yeah, I'm tired of dating many people. I've done it, I've tried it. I know that Clifton is the one, and I want to move forward with Clifton. And there's nothing wrong about it. It's not that she's not ready to love. She is ready to love, and she knows who she wants to be with, and she doesn't have to keep on dating. And she asked Demetrius, is there someone you're genuinely attracted to? And Demetrius is like, yeah. And I think she was a little bit, on the defensive side when Demetrius told her what the guy said, and she was like, "Well, are you sure you just want to date, or you just want to bring in some drama?" And I'm like, "Ooh, Joy is bringing out the guns." Demetrius is surprised, but he's letting us know that Demetrius is letting Joy know that she is ready to love, but she just needs to pay attention to the point that he brought up. Next, we have all the ladies coming into the ladies' lounge with Tommy, and we have Dakia saying that she does not want to date Eric anymore, that they had an incident, and that she just doesn't want to date him no more. And I'm like, ooh, what happened? That's it, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. It's getting good, it's getting hot, a little bit more action. I'm loving that. We'll see what happens next week. Please do not hesitate to like and comment my video. And if you're new here, welcome, and I invite you to subscribe. I'll see you all next week. Bye.